I worked really hard to make physicians understand that I should be treated differently because I was different. I wasn't like the people in, their data bucket. So most actually didn't want to have that conversation. It was uncomfortable for them. I know that they were uncomfortable doing things outside of the standard of care. They didn't want to make the situation worse than, it already was. And I understand that. But I did finally identify a team at a large academic center that very much understood my situation. And I like to say they saw the life in me and not just the cancer. And I'm really, really appreciative for that, because if they hadn't been willing to look outside of the box and try different things, I definitely wouldn't be sitting here now. I wouldn't be here, to see my kids grow up. I wouldn't have even been around a year after my official diagnosis had it not been for this one team who was willing to, look in other corners and allow me to help drive the conversation. And after that first 8 cycles of EOX, I was able to work on a plan for radiation with this team. And I had about 45 days of radiation to the esophageal site, since most of the distant metastases had resolved, or at least resolved enough. And that went really well too. I was really lucky. I didn't have, terrible side effects or anything like that. And that brought us to another crossroads at the end of that cycle, what to do next. Nobody had really seen anybody that had started at stage 4 and wanted to have an esophagectomy. And I kept asking for it, and the whole team thought that was a little odd. But through a lot of determination, I was able to convince them to let me speak to their thoracic surgeon who handled the oncology cases. And he said, we really shouldn't be having this conversation. Like, you're just really not part of the group that I would normally move forward into surgery. But he really did see that I was really healthy all through chemo and all through radiation. I maintained a very active life. I worked full time, played with my kids. And yes, it was hard and I lost weight. And, I felt very vulnerable, but I was able to forge through those challenges. I was able to get to the day where we went into surgery. And I was told at that point that, if they see any malignancy, any spots, anything else, anywhere when they opened me up, game over. They'd sew me back up, and, we'd be back on the track for palliative care and enjoying my last few months, whatever that might be. But I'm very, very grateful and happy to say that after a 15.5 hour long surgery, I made it through. I had a really good recovery. I'm not going to say it was great because it was hard, but I was very lucky. I had a great medical team to take care of me, and I had great friends and family that really stepped up and supported me in so many different ways. The surgery does change your life, as many patients are learning. It changes the way you eat, it changes the way you sleep, it changes the way you digest and how you move throughout your day. But for me, it was what saved my life. And I am so grateful that somebody was willing to give that to me.